Good Tuesday morning. And if you follow my channel, you see this little walk across the property each morning, you know what you're watching. You're watching Ice Age TV, and brr, as cool as it is this morning, I think it is Ice Age Day. It's 30s up here in the Northern Virginia, Maryland area, and just beautiful day. But that time of the year, boy, you can tell the winter's upon us, and man, they're predicting a really bad cold winter up in this area, which that's not exciting for me. I've had many winters have been here. You know, I've been here for over 30 years, and there's been many stories of bad winters up here, and me digging out the property and having to get my generator hooked up to my tractor, and yeah, so for me, as you progress in life, I'm not excited about that, if you know what I mean. Who wants a bunch of snow? I'll pass on that. But anyways, the whole point is, the Farmer's Almanac is saying that we're going to have a really cold and wintry winter. Meanwhile, Florida, come on, puppies! Come on, Ginger! Meanwhile, Florida, the Sunshine State, I'm reading this morning in the Wall Street Journal that people are looking for the deals. People ain't slowing down. People want to continue to move to Florida, and hurricanes or not, they're going, and people are looking for distressed properties. This is crazy. See that those two rocking chairs over there? I am not embellishing here. I have lived here and had this shop for. The shop was built 20 years ago. I restored it 20 years ago, and I have never had rocking chairs in this shop. Is that unbelievable? I'm blown away. For me, I'm like, it's hard to believe I've never had, rocking chairs in this shop. Oh my gosh, it's just there's simple things in life. And yesterday, my kid when you have a kid that starts driving a car, it's kind of neat because I've been texting her lately, like, hey, pick up this and pick up that. The other night, I had her pick up, the car ramps for me to be able to do that oil change on my Charger. You watch that. And then yesterday, I was like, hey, let's get so I heard her go by Lowe's, and we picked up those rocking chairs. She brought those home, and I put them together last night. Brr! Come on, get up here. I left my windows open to kind of keep the office aired out, and I think it's going to be time to close the windows and get to work here. And for me, what's the conversations, right? Yeah, what's the conversation? How do you keep a YouTube channel alive where people actually want to watch your channel? I talk about it every day. So funny. He usually sits in that chair. She usually sits there. That the dogs are just like us humans. You ever notice when you went to school or you go to church, people take the same seat? Isn't that something? And the dogs, it's the exact same thing. The dogs are like the same. We're all and programmed as I guess living things where we have habits. The habitat. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, what's the Tuesday morning conversations when one of my key guys is out, which that means I'm just that much more busier. But yeah, one of the subscribers reached out yesterday and he said, hey, keep it to the ice. I guess he's not really enjoying my morning conversations as much, and yeah, that's fine. I understand. As an individual, it's just I don't get paid. For the record, I make no money. It's pretty incredible. I will be at probably 400 videos or more before the year's out, and I never had a goal of videos. It's just I like to post videos, and I have you have to honestly say that's got to be, let's just say 400 videos times an hour each video. That's 400 hours, not even including the time behind the scenes. I'd be making the videos and editing back in the, when I kind of first got going, it could turn into a 2, 3, 4 hour project. So, 1,000 1,000 hours, 800 hours, who knows, 400 hours. You just set an hour video, but it takes more than that to make a video because you're talking throughout the day and going places and doing things. So conservative, 1,000 hours of my time to make YouTube channel videos, which I enjoy. I'm not complaining. I like making videos, but I also can understand anybody follow my channel. I hear this all the time. The conversation is people start a YouTube channel, but then they kind of stray away from the theme of their YouTube channel. And I think to myself, I just think I can agree that yes, I've got these conversations going now where it's kind of straight away from you seeing me go buy a new car every week just about, because I have to write it down. I talked about this, and last night I was going to do it, and I just didn't do it. But I think I'm at 24 vehicles since January. Who has a YouTube channel that can claim that isn't just a person that just goes out and buys a car just to go drive it and do a review on it and then turn around and sell it, do the same thing all over again? Yeah, there's a bunch of people out there like that. I know who they are. So anyways, back to the gentleman, that the person, in all sincereness, I don't know, it just you have people's initials and last name. I don't know. Could be a woman. I have no idea. But the whole point is they were just kind of like saying, hey, just get back to the car talk. Get away from this frickin', your theories and your philosophy, videos. And so for a part of me, it's like, yeah, well, that's kind of too bad, because I can only hope that I make these videos and people get some entertainment out of it and some information. And that's the fun part. That's what I'm just trying to share. But at the same time, yeah, I get it. But I thought to myself, the quietness of the ice age is pretty prevalent. The EV age is just taking over. I mean, EVs are going to take over the automotive industry, and you're not going to have ice age. I mean, if anybody thinks that's not going to happen, it's going to happen, because the ice age people just are too quiet. Now, a person like me be on YouTube channel, constantly talking about how the EV age has all this money, and they're just bulldozing all the world powers and governing bodies and manufacturers. What's the ice age people doing? Yeah, just shut up. That's basically what's going on. Just shut up. Don't talk. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about the future. So just don't talk about it. It'll be okay. Well, no. The EV age is going to win out us Ice Age people, sadly, because there's no conglomerate of Ice Age people getting together and talking and getting any movement to reverse the EV age, movement. So, yeah, they're going to win, sadly. So, and I can kind of take and run with that. My thoughts were this morning is, if anybody's following the news, who wants to follow the news? How do you follow the news when the news is so confusing anymore? Because all these predictions of everything's going to happen. So many YouTube guys. I know I talk about it every day, and it isn't me beating up other YouTubers. It's just me sharing on how so many YouTube people have these channels that it's every day that the country's going to go broker than broke, that the car market has collapsed. The car market is done. It is over. Car dealerships will be closing. Used car prices have tanked. I am not seeing any of this. In fact, last night I went on the internet and I started searching around for a Toyota Tundra. I like the new Toyota Tundra. And sometimes I think, do I get another one of those? And it's just like the Ram TRX. I've always thought about getting one, but then I start weighing the pros and the cons and the pros. And so the Toyota Tundra, it's a nice looking truck. I really like it. But for the most part, it's ADM. If you go looking, people are paying $90,000 to $100,000 for a Toyota Tundra. Oh my God! I mean, I just think, well, somebody say, well, you bought an F-150 Raptor, you bought an EV Lightning, right. But I just think the Tundra, I'm going to spend they're getting 20 grand over, 10 grand over. Nice truck, and I think it's a little underpowered though. That kind of concerned me. I thought that the new V6 Tundra had like 440 horsepower. It has like 389 horsepower. And has like 460 foot-pounds of torque. So the specs on it, I think it's a nice truck. I don't know. I think to myself, would I really be satisfied in it? I don't know. I need to go drive one. I haven't driven one yet. I need to do a little review on that. That'd be a great thing to change up the thing here. But going back to the news, what's going on with China? If anybody hearing about how all these U.S. CEOs and high-ranking officials in China that work for these semiconductor manufacturing companies are being shut down, that we're shutting down China with the semiconductor technology, that this country is basically saying, hey, China, We are no longer going to let anybody continue to share our technology and information. And any citizen that's from this country that works over in China, they need to make a decision. Either you're going to stay a U.S. citizen or you're going to become a Chinese citizen, because we're not going to support you, and you have to stop giving China the technology information. Like Taiwan. Everybody knows that China wants Taiwan because the Taiwan Semiconductor manufacturing company over there, I think it's like TSMC or something, and so that's why China is threatening Taiwan. They want the technology. Because for the military, the word is China's military technology is years behind our technology. So China's goal is to catch up, and by catching up, if they can get Taiwan, they could utilize Taiwan's technology, they would catch up quicker than slower. But Taiwan's position is, if China, this is what they say, Taiwan is telling China, if you ever come and invade us, we're just torching all the factories. That's what they claim. So Taiwan's protection isn't their own military. It's, hey, if you come see us, we're destroying our infrastructure so you can't steal that technology, whatever. But now I think to myself, you just heard that we had the Chips and Science bill passed, which is a $39 billion bill to entice others to bring the chip semiconductor manufacturing back to our country. And there's like 19 billion of incentives along with that to help the new technology and whatever else. So this country here just literally passed a bill to really try to take away from Taiwan and China the semiconductor manufacturing capabilities, which that's good news. I mean, for us as citizens of this country, it's good to hear that our government's finally saying, hey, let's bring things back to our country. But I think at the same time, it's like, wow, the chip semiconductor is such a hot item. In fact, I can remember hearing people predict that once the semiconductor manufacturing comes back to the pace, the used car market's is gonna tank, and new car sales are gonna stabilize. Yes, this was a big conversation over a year ago that even people that I know personally were predicting that by last year, the semiconductor manufacturing would be all back in order. It'd be overproduction, and that the used car market would fail because of all the new cars getting back in the marketplace. Yeah, well, we know that's not true, right? If you can go back, I just hear myself already. I've heard so many stories about the crash and burn of things happening that I heard this past spring or last year that haven't prevailed. So, but these are YouTuber channels where people just go in droves and watch. I mean, the hits, they're massive hits and massive subscribers to these people's channels. And I just think to myself, it's just incredible. I talked about it yesterday. The fear factor. The fear factor drives people to your channel. If you can prove things to be fearful about, it seems to work very well. So, and here's the ball game. The automotive, for the gentleman that was saying, hey, get back to the ICE. Yeah, I agree. It's nice to be able to show you just about a Ram TRX, and I can drive around in it, and I can tell you really what the truck is to me, blah, blah, blah. Well, that hasn't happened. Does it happen? I don't know. I get mixed feelings on that truck. I'm just like anybody else. Part of me is like, the market's going to crash. Why don't you sit it out? Sit it out. The market's going to crash. The TRX won't be getting 80 grand. You'll be getting it for 50 grand. No, that's not going to happen. TRX truck, even if the market crashes, is the TRX truck that's an $80,000, $90,000 truck be worth 50 grand? Nope. Is it the one they're trying to get 90 out of it? You maybe get it for 80? Maybe. Yeah, I'd say that's possible. But it isn't going to be like a half price. So I think some people are delusional that think the housing market's going to be worth half. They're going to be cars worth half. I don't see that. Do I see an adjustment? I see an adjustment. But the radical people tell you that everybody's house is going to be worth half, their car is going to be worth half. Yeah, I've heard these conversations so many times in my lifetime. Typically, it doesn't play out that way. And yes, in unique circumstances, some things kind of play that way. But for overall, no. We see a reduction, maybe, but we don't know. I mean, I had a whole conversation of the unknown. We are such an unknown economy like we've never seen before. And going back to the semiconductors, well, what does the semiconductors have to do with cars? Well, semiconductors more than ever run the whole cars, the whole computer. You just have a rolling computer going down the road. So for me, it's intriguing to talk about China is being shut down by us because we want to bring the semiconductor technology back here, and we want to protect that technology, and we want to have the manufacturing domestic side so we don't go through the same scenario of what we just went through with the semiconductor shortage that's had such an impact on so many things in our economy and supplies and everything else. But even for me, I'm like, okay, you're going into the infinite variables of down the road. If we have another major pandemic, that our own domestic manufacturing would be challenged. And now here, apparently, Boston University has created a 70% kill rate virus. I mean, it's just, it doesn't end with mankind. So what do you need this one for, right? What's going on? I mean, so yeah, when does that virus escape the lab in our own backyard, and we're down now to a radical pandemic like we've never even seen, created by our own domestic terrorism division? Yeah, which probably created the Wuhan one as well. Hello, right? But that's just, waste of time. That's not my channel. That's what I think irks some people that watch it. I get a little too political, which I don't want it to be a political channel. So anyways, not a real long video today, just more about me sharing my thoughts about the manufacturing, semiconductor manufacturing coming back to this country, which I think that's a great thing that our governing body is saying, hey, let's bring things back here. And, unbeknownst to most people, I think, and I don't even think that's the case, but like the Toyota Tundra, it's built in Texas. So many foreign cars today are built here in this country, but yet we saw this thought process that everything's being built overseas. Yeah, we do, but it's more of a world economy. I think that people kind of get a little confused and a little too emotional on this stuff. I think it's more of a world economy today, and I think we just need to understand that it's the times of change. There's challenges. There's always been challenges. More it's about is the well of mankind. Can we keep that in balance? That's the challenge. They're going to Russia and Ukraine. What a fiasco. So for the semiconductors, once these things get up to speed again, does that really then change the market? That's what you have to ask yourself, is when the supply chain in the car market, the new cars really kind of get full force again. But I don't know. I just think, why does manufacturing want to go back to the old way of having to make things to give them away? I mean, Ford's a prime example. They don't want to go back to that business model. So I don't know. I get mixed feelings. Is the car market, as so many are predicting, it's just going to be a big crash, and it's going to be like the old days? I don't know. It's very debatable, because just the way the business model has changed. So for anybody out there continuing to preach, and I get it, we all want to pay less money for things. I mean, the real underlying message is you want to get the deal. I mean, that's what it's always about. That's what I've always been about buying cars. You get the deal. You get the deal. You get the deal. That's why my wife's always like, you just want to get the deal. You just want to do the deal because you're just getting the deal. Yeah, and that's what drives a lot of the buying the cars and buying things. People just want to get the deal. Like for me, I had a gentleman that was supposed to come over and buy my Honda Rebel 500 motorcycle that my kid's never going to buy, or he's never going to ride. And again, because she's riding a Harley. She's riding now, an 1800cc motorcycle versus a 500cc motorcycle. You honestly think she's going to go ride the Honda Rebel anymore? That thing's done. So I'm selling it. Well, I've had it on Craigslist, and I've had a bunch of people inquire, and they lowball you and whatever else. So this one gentleman that wanted to come on Sunday evening and look at the bike. And this is going back to my reference to, it's all about the deal. That's what drives us to buy things, the deal. If you think you got the deal, you feel really good. If you didn't get the deal, you don't feel good. That's how we are. So anyways, Sunday he canceled because it got too late. So then last night he texted me, and he came over last night about 7 o'clock. And I never pull the motorcycle out of my trailers or do anything. It's too much work. It's just for what? Do they ever show up? Nice couple showed up. Probably a gentleman's in his 30s. And he's excited and blah, blah, blah. And I showed it to him. He's excited and blah, blah, blah. And nothing. And I told him, I said, I have a few other people on this bike. And I already had people just, offer me lowball prices. So the gentleman never committed. And I think the gentleman was borderline embarrassed to even ask me if I'd take, because I already told him another gentleman offered me X amount of dollars cash on the bike, and I was like, I'm not doing that. There's no reason. So it was just really weird. So he came, he loved the bike, wants the bike, he's going to get a bike, and eventually he told me he's going to ride it home and blah, 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 and he comes and he leaves. Okay, so there's just no doubt in my mind that he came for the deal, but I already disclosed to him, I already had a guy that tried to get the deal, and I didn't do the deal. And then I'm sure once he got here, he saw about some guy in desperate mode to sell a motorcycle, that I have to sell his motorcycle to survive financially. So I don't think the guy will call me or buy the motorcycle, because I think he showed up telling his wife he's going to give me cash and get the deal on the motorcycle. So that's what drives us. When you don't feel like the deal, you walk out the door. So the whole point is, with semiconductor manufacturing, it's going to take years to build the manufacturing. So this is not an issue that's going to be resolved overnight. So this CHIPS and Science bill they passed to hand out $39 billion of manufacturing incentives to get people to build manufacturing plants to help the so-called automotive industry, transportation industry, and other things connected to semiconductors. You know as well as I do, that's a 3 to 5 year minimum time frame for the manufacturing plants to be in place to even start manufacturing things. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but I can't see that you and I want to go buy land and put a manufacturing plant up and go through all the permitting processes and blah, 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 and da-da-da-da. And a year from now, it's up and going. I can see that if I'm an existing manufacturing facility company that has everything in order, knows how to do all that stuff, and already owns the land and already has all the permits and the whole infrastructure of the companies that know they're on the sidelines getting ready to build it. Yeah, I can see that, but I can't see if we're starting from scratch. So I'd say 2 years, but for the masses of manufacturing to come in this country, I'd say it's conservative 3 to 5 years, about longer. And then where does that all go? As the quantum computing and the code and the blood, all the language and everything evolves to a whole other level and it goes in a whole other direction. That's not my knowledge. I'm not the IT guy, the computer guy. In hindsight, it should have been to see what people have done in that industry. Oh my gosh, I can still remember as a kid in high school seeing a computer and like, okay, what's going to come from this box? DOS. It wasn't even in high school. It was once I got out of high school that I wasn't even exposed to really the computer side till out of high school. Yeah, that was the late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, look what it's evolved to. Beyond unbelievable. So anyways, I guess the message this morning is the semiconductor chip manufacturing, it's going to help bring down the prices of cars. I mean, because that's kind of what I've heard over a year ago is when the manufacturing gets everything back in place and all the semiconductors can be put in brand new cars, it's going to change the whole, overinflated car pricing and used car market. And last summer, the used car market was supposed to tank. So it's always living in the future. And for me, would I get a Toyota Tundra? I don't know. I think it looks pretty cool. I like the truck, but I got to go drive one. I have to go do a review. And I've always been a Toyota guy. I've always had Toyotas. I like Toyotas. That's been my life. When I was a young kid, I always wanted a Toyota. And I had Toyotas growing up. So, Toyota Tundra, do I or don't I? And I got, it's really cool. My wife, she loves that little Ford Ranger. She likes to drive a nice sized vehicle as well. And part of me like, I got that thing. I bet my wife would drive that dang thing. And she would in all reality. She's just that type of person. She loved the Ford Expedition. We used to have Chevy Suburbans and Tahoes, and she drove those things. Like I told you, years ago, she drove my Toyota Tundra that I owned when I went broke back in 2008 and 9 and lost everything. I was down to my Toyota Tundra and a Toyota FJ Cruiser, and she drove my Tundra all the time. I couldn't get her out of it. I needed that truck, and I couldn't get her out of that damn thing. I had to go buy a little trailer to pull behind my FJ Cruiser to work out of it. I'm not lying. You think I'm making that story up? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so she likes that stuff. So part of me's like, just go buy that thing. I'm talking myself into it, right? But I don't know. I think I'm concerned, and I don't want to get the Pro because around here the Pro, I'll buy a Ram TRX before I buy a Pro. I want to buy like the $50,000 Tundra truck that's not optioned out with every freaking option. I'm not going to do that. I just want to have a real, middle of the road Tundra that's a nice package, but it's the Pro. No, it's just too much money. For me, it's like, why wouldn't you just buy a freaking Ram TRX? Which, yeah, I've got my buddies at Coons Baltimore Ford looking for one, but man, I got mixed feelings. I don't know. And once again, I'm like everybody else. Is the market going to just tank all these used cars? Do I think a little bit of adjustment's happening? Yeah. But radical, and back to the Florida thing, there's articles being written now where people are just like wanting to go to the hurricane disaster area and buy properties. Picking them up, it's distressed property sales. So now everybody's flocking down there to go buy a house because they see an opportunity that people will be like, I want out and I can't pay it and I'm leaving, and they'll get a deal on a house. I'd be willing to bet that's going to be a very interesting way to see this all play out down there, where people have a bidding war on buying distressed properties. I'll be amazed. I think it's already happening. All right, everybody. Appreciate you watching my YouTube channel. Got a busy day. I'm down a man. Exciting day here, being it's just a beautiful freezing butt day in all reality. Is that exciting? Is that the blood flowing? Yeah, sure does. So everybody, appreciate you watching my channel and appreciate the nice comments. And yeah, what's the next adventure? What's the next car purchase? I mean, I got an F-150 Lightning truck that's being built November 7th, but am I like overexcited about that? I'm not. What happened to EV vehicles? I mean, I don't even drive the EV Mustang Mach-E. I mean, the electric cars, it's just such a weird feeling. They're cool vehicles, but it's just not the same. What is it about the electric vehicle? I just call it the empty suit. It's just, oh my gosh, challenges. Yeah, challenges for me just to want to get excited to drive an EV vehicle. Or did I find out the truce and I figured everything out and I'm just not excited anymore? It's more about being intrigued on the adventure of getting an electric vehicle. Once you get one, you're just kind of like, whip-de-doo-dah. I mean, does $300 a month make you go broke buying gas? I mean, I think that's really where it comes down to the average person. I mean, good Lord. Okay, well, everybody knows you go out to dinner a few times. You've spent $300. I just can't see that being the case. But thanks for watching my Ice Age TV, and watch for more, hopefully, intriguing and interesting content to excite you to watch my channel. Thanks, and stay safe, and God